The movie starts at the Ohio State Fair in Columbus. The main character, called Parker, arrives. He's a professional thief with an English accent, like a modern-day Robin Hood. He doesn't steal from the poor or harm innocent people. Parker leads a group of criminals, including Hardwicke from the Chicago mob and 4 other skilled criminals. Their plan is to rob the carnival. Parker breaks into the local security office to distract the guards while the clowns attack them inside. The guards have kept a lot of money from the fair. The criminals hold the employees hostage while Hardwicke starts a controlled fire. Despite this, people at the fair continue to enjoy themselves, unaware of what's happening. During the robbery, one of the hostages has a panic attack, but Parker reassures him that they won't hurt anyone. Through flashbacks, we learn that Hurley, an elderly thief and Claire's father, suggested Parker join the robbery. Although Claire thinks they barely know each other, Parker has worked for Hurley for years and Hurley trusts him. Hurley has provided Parker with everything he needs, including men from a clown gang led by a criminal named Melander. As the fire grows out of control, causing panic, the robbers manage to steal over $1 million amidst the chaos. With the help of their accomplice Carlson, they escape successfully. Posing as the fire chief, they escape the area. When Hardwicke and Parker meet in an abandoned industrial area, Parker accuses him of deviating from the original plan. Hardwicke had set the fire in the wrong place near the propane tank depot, making this situation more dangerous and the investigation a priority. Later, while driving along a rural road, the group discusses another robbery. The leader offers Parker a share of $1 million, but Parker refuses, wanting to leave the shady business with his $200,000. As they plan to kill Parker for refusing to join them, he quickly realizes the danger, injures Carlson, and jumps out of the car window. Despite being shot by Melander, Parker manages to injure Carlson before Hardwicke is forced to finish him off. They throw Parker into a pond and hastily escape. Shortly after, a farmer and his family pass along the road and notice blood. They find Parker in the pond and take him to the town hospital, where he miraculously survives. While in the hospital, Parker hears on the news about a deadly fire at an amusement park and the unidentified robbers. Not wanting to wait for the police to question him, Parker puts a doctor to sleep, steals his clothes, and escapes with a patient. He steals an ambulance and drives away to treat his wounds. Parker decides to hunt down the group that betrayed him and kill them one by one. After somewhat recovering, he sneaks into a hunter's motel room, steals clothes, a multi-tool, an electric razor, and another gun. He then steals a car and heads to a check cashing center in Memphis. At the center, he takes a hostage and commits armed robbery to get money for a new identity and documents. Later in Houston, Texas, he claims to be a friend of Bob Hurley and orders new documents from a print shop owner, paying a hefty sum while waiting for their delivery. Parker calls Hurley to ask about Hardwicke's brother's whereabouts. Hurley warns him to stay away from these dangerous and unpredictable people, but Parker insists on knowing the address. Reluctantly, Hurley reveals the bar where Hardwicke's brother works. Parker immediately travels to New Orleans, where he enters the bar and confronts the security guard before finding Hardwicke's brother, who owns several bars on Bourbon Street. The brother tells him that Melander and his gang are in Palm Beach, an island known for its wealthy residents. Parker quickly calls Claire and her father, urging them to take a trip for safety. He realizes that his enemies might target the people he cares about. Meanwhile, in Florida, real estate agent Leslie Rodgers, who will play a crucial role, is working. The criminal group plans their next move. When Hardwicke learns that Parker is alive and shares this with Melander becomes furious. Despite his anger, Ross warns that the plan will fail even without one of them. Melander orders Hardwicke to contact his powerful uncle, Mr. Danziger in Chicago, to hire a hitman named Kroll to kill Parker. Kroll breaks into Claire's house to kidnap her before targeting Parker. Claire, hearing a strange noise in the house, manages to sneak out through a window and punctures the hitman's car tire, escaping from him. Tearfully, she calls Parker to inform him of the hitman's presence. Parker instructs her to go to a fishing camp in Florida and wait until Friday. Meanwhile, Parker returns to Houston to collect his new papers but finds Danziger's subordinates there. He realizes they work for Danziger and forces one of them, Norte, to shoot the others before taking his papers. Parker understands that Danziger is trying to deceive him by offering a share of the previous robbery to calm him down, knowing a Chicago mob boss wouldn't do that to someone interfering with their plans. Parker refuses the money and is determined to uphold his principles and seek revenge on the criminals. He travels to Florida under the alias Daniel Parramatta, an escaped convict from San Antonio, Texas, pretending to be interested in buying a house. Leslie Rodgers, a familiar figure, helps him in this peculiar home-buying operation. Before finalizing the property purchase, Parker decides to meet Claire. They meet as planned, and Parker suggests ending their relationship to keep her safe. During an exploratory trip with Leslie, Parker shows little interest in lavish properties but becomes intrigued by a modest house bought 2 months earlier for $1.2 million. He realizes it's where Melander's gang plans to hide after the robbery. Leslie invites Parker to lunch to stay in touch, but he declines, claiming to be busy. One evening, Leslie investigates Parker's financial situation at the bank, but finds no transactions, leaving her puzzled. Later, she receives a message about her car being repossessed, adding to her financial troubles from loans taken out by her cheating ex-husband. Meanwhile, hitman Kroll visits Norte and mistakenly kills him, thinking he's working with Parker. At sunset, Parker returns to the house pretending to be Mr. Rodrigo, where he discovers the gang's cache of weapons. He sets traps and studies their robbery plan. Returning to his car, Parker encounters Leslie, who suggests continuing their conversation in private. Suspicious of her motives, Parker reacts aggressively. Leslie insists that based on her information and observations, he's not who he claims to be. They head to the empty office where Leslie works overnight. During their conversation, Leslie expresses frustration with her circumstances and offers to work with Parker for his share of the profits. Instead of responding directly, Parker instructs her to strip down to her underwear to ensure she's not wearing a wire. After confirming she's clean, he agrees to consider her offer. The next day, Parker contacts Leslie and agrees to help her with the mission in exchange for a share of the money. Leslie accepts and Parker reveals the details of Melander's gang's plan and the expected loot, which amounts to $57 million. When Parker mentions the target is Marion Clinton's diamond auction, Leslie panics. Leslie believes the mission is too risky and fears they'll get caught, but she realizes she can't back down now. Meanwhile, Melander and his gang arrive at Mrs. Clinton's estate, disguised in blue jumpsuits from a company specializing in event assistance. After dropping Leslie off to take a cab to her office, Parker returns to his hotel room, where he encounters Kroll. A brutal fight ensues, during which Parker manages to knock Kroll unconscious against the bathtub. Thinking Kroll is dead, Parker leaves the bathroom, but Kroll unexpectedly attacks him from behind. Despite being injured, Parker throws Kroll off the balcony, causing both of them serious harm. Later, Parker visits Leslie's house, where local policemen question her about her client Parker. As they investigate, Leslie notices bloodstains on the floor and tries to divert the police's attention. Parker instructs Leslie to call Claire from a payphone as he can't risk going to a hospital. Claire arrives to treat Parker's wounds and declares her refusal to leave his side. Meanwhile, Parker's enemies are gearing up for their next robbery. Hardwicke waits for the auction to start and remotely activates the pyrotechnic systems set up by Ross and the speakers. Melander and his 2 accomplices, disguised as firemen, drive to the estate in a fire engine to steal the jewels. The police set up roadblocks and guard the marina to prevent any escape. While Hardwicke distracts the police with a speedboat, Melander and his gang dive into the lagoon with their diving gear and wetsuits to make their getaway. Unbeknownst to them, Parker is waiting for their return, armed with 2 guns. At the same time, Leslie, who has been captured by Hardwicke after being caught peeking through a window, becomes a pawn in the unfolding drama. Melander suspects Parker's presence and orders his men to search the house. Parker stealthily takes out Ross, prompting Melander to order Hardwicke to pursue Parker. Meanwhile, Carlson remains with Leslie as Melander spots Parker and attempts to shoot him in the back, but his shot misses. A brawl ensues, culminating in Parker eliminating Melander. Simultaneously, Leslie surprises Carlson by shooting him with a concealed gun hidden under the table. Hardwicke seizes the opportunity to present the gun to Leslie, threatening to kill her unless Parker agrees to split the loot. However, when he pulls the trigger, the gun fails and Parker retaliates by striking Hardwicke directly in the forehead. Eventually, Parker decides to part ways with Leslie, instructing her to hide the jewels in an air conditioning duct. He promises to send someone to retrieve them within 3 months. 6 months later, Parker tracks down and eliminates Danziger. A year later, Leslie receives her share of $24 million in 2 cardboard boxes delivered by express mail. In the final scene, Parker saves the farmer who once rescued him, prompting the old man to start believing that Parker isn't just a man, but possibly an angel. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.